Hello and welcome to our podcast, The Junkees, with me, Dave O'Neill, and...
Me, Kitty Flanagan, the sweet and salty roundabout. Get on board.
Get on board, kids, where we just talk all about junk food, our true love.
This is our second episode, and I made a few
Errors.
ambit claims, or just straight out errors. Yeah, one
Just
error
lies.
in the first episode. I claimed to have something called mesophilia, which I said was an aversion to listening to people chew. Well, yeah, I looked up mesophilia, and it's actually an organism. It's a bacteria that grows at moderate temperatures. So it's not what I said. So
You might have that too.
yeah,
Who knows?
I did declare, I think, in the first episode that I have no education about anything but junk food.
Yes.
So, but I did look up compound chocolate
Yeah, what is the
and
difference?
why it's so bad. Okay.
And were you right? You're sort of right?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not a bacteria, so that's good.
That's good.
I'm doing well there. Normal chocolate is made with cocoa, sugar, and cocoa butter, and it's the cocoa butter that gives it the I'm going to say unctuousness.
Ooh,
Dave, yeah,
it's a big word.
that is a big word, unctuousness. I'll look that up and make sure I get that right for next week. I probably got that wrong.
Yeah.
It's another bacteria. Compound chocolate, and the reason it tastes so waxy is because they don't put cocoa butter in. They save money and they use vegetable shortening, which is like wax. Like if you've ever used a block of Kofa when you
Yes.
make chocolate crackles and you try and eat that stuff, it's just like eating wax.
Yeah.
It's like eating a candle.
Well,
So that's what compound chocolate is. It's cocoa, sugar, and candle wax.
And we're not fans of compound chocolate.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. All right. So stop it, compound chocolate makers.
So
I assume there's no boutique compound chocolate makers out there.
well, the chocolate box, who now put it on
Yeah.
their pretzels, and who knows where it ends. I mean, they might just start creeping it into all their other stuff, because they do nice jellies as well, as in the raspberry jellies covered in, used to be real chocolate. Who knows what it is now?
And they do good bullets too. They're very good bullets.
They do good bullets.
Yeah, they do a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, raspberry bullets as well.
Maybe we should head to the airport, even though we haven't got flights. We're not going anywhere. And here's another text conversation. These are real text conversations that we've had. We tend to be doing gigs somewhere, and we text each other late at night.
Well, the sad thing is you're usually doing gigs somewhere and you buy stuff on the way home, whereas
Yes.
I've really just been up to the supermarket that day and bought stuff to eat in front of the television. I feel like you're more justified than I am. But yeah, I sent you a text saying, have you tried the pea crisps yet?
With a photo
Yeah, and these were the salt and vinegar ones.
of Harvest salt and vinegar. Yes.
And I'll tell you again, see, I'm so suggestible. The reason I heard about these was I was listening to Kate, Tim and Marty.
Yeah.
They, for some reason, were sent some and they were eating them on air,
They like them?
and they mentioned them. Marty mentioned them, and I went, oh, I might go and try some of those. And, so I was asking you.
And I text back, no, but I will. I should have a break from Twisties. I've never seen them.
Because you eat a lot of Twisties.
I love Twisties.
Most of the time when I text you and say I'm eating this, you text back, I've got a party bag of Twisties.
They're the party bag.
It's always the party
It's a
bag.
huge bag too.
And I said to you to try and tempt you with them,
Mm.
if you're into vinegar, and who isn't, I can drink that stuff. Sometimes I eat so many pickles I get the vinegar sweats, which is true. But if you like vinegar, you have to try the dill pickle flavour of the Harvest crisps,
And
the pea crisps.
Text back, oh yeah, I love vinegar. Once controversially named it as my favourite condiment. It's true. Then you hit back.
Yeah, it was a big vinegar conversation.
Yes.
So I don't believe that to be controversial unless you specifically named the 2 litres of white vinegar you get at Bunnings in the cleaning aisle as your favourite vinegar, because I've got at least 12 different types of vinegar in my pantry, and I've recently discovered something called drinking vinegar that you mix with soda water like a cordial. It's delicious.
Wow, I just say I've never heard of that, which I've never heard of.
Drinking vinegar. Seek it out. It's good stuff.
Sounds like something out of the Victorian era. You read that fact. In the 1800s, people used to drink vinegar like a cordial.
Yeah, it helped you with the dropsy. Wasn't that one
Yeah.
of those diseases that you got back in the Victorian times?
Well, we're gonna have a bit of a S&V, a salt and vinegar theme on the show. And in fact, my son asked me the other day, out of nowhere, he's only 11, and we were lying in bed. The kids like to get into bed with you, and he said, "Do they put extra salt on the salt and vinegar chips?" I'm like,
What does he mean?
well, do they add extra salt on the salt and vinegar chips? And I said, no. And he goes, then why aren't they just called vinegar chips?
Ah.
Because every chip has salt on it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I just said it's a marketing thing. Salt and vinegar sounds good. Everyone knows what salt and vinegar is. Would you buy a chip just called vinegar?
I would, but
Yeah.
then I've already declared my hand there.
We've established. So I was given the task of buying as many salt and vinegar chips as I could.
And he even stopped me because I said, great, I'll go and get some. And he said, no, I've got them all. And I went, okay, have you got Samboy? Because that is what I have always believed to be
The best.
the definitive salt and vinegar chips. But I could be wrong. Like I wanted to have it in a taste test and see if I was right.
And I said, yeah, I've got Samboy, but then I just produced them all.
Yeah.
I
there's
don't
no
have Samboy.
No.
I've got Smiths. I thought in my mind, because it's a red packet,
It's a similar packet.
I've really made a mistake.
That was always the show bag I used to buy.
Oh, yeah,
at the
Samboy.
Easter show was the, Samboy chip bag.
We've got to talk about show bags, actually.
Yeah.
We've got to discuss show bags at one point.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll leave that for another because, I was already lining them up in the head. Okay, these are the ones I used to get.
My dad still goes to the show and he gets us all one show bag each.
What do you get? I bet you get twisties.
Yeah, twisties. Yeah. Oh, gee, I'm pretty. Or licorice.
Oh, the licorice bag's good,
Yeah, licorice bag is good.
Do you know I often used to get the birdie beetle bag because you
yeah.
got value for money in that. You got a lot of birdie beetles in
Oh,
there.
stacks. Stacks of birdie beetles. Oh, all right. We'll be back with our taste test. We're going to try and find the definitive salt and vinegar with a little admission there is no Samboy. And we'll try and find the second best.
Yeah, okay.
The salt and vinegar chip.
I just wanted to know, maybe Samboy isn't the best, but in my mind,
They're
it's
hard to
always been the best.
find.
They're hard to find.
They're hard to find.
I always think of Dave Hughes and that he would know where to get them just because he did a Samboy ad years and years ago.
Yeah,
I always equate him with Samboy chips
Yes,
now.
he did.
I think he did like a Zoot review for Samboy chips. And I remember watching it on television. He was the most successful comedian. He was like riding
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
And then he's doing Zoot review for Samboy. And I was like, why is he doing that? And then I thought, maybe he just loves Samboy chips like I do. Like maybe he really believed.
Just loves money. I know him very well. He just loves money. We did a popcorn fish ad together once for some big South African. We sat on a couch and like you have popcorn chicken?
Yeah.
We had popcorn fish. And they paid us decent money to sit on the couch and talk about, and it was like a proper ad with a script. It wasn't just a Zoot review, and they never showed it because the South African guy didn't understand the humour. He said, this isn't funny, and they never showed it. All right, we'll be back with a big salt and vinegar taste test. It's time for the big taste test of salt and vinegar chips.
We're taking it really seriously. We've got
Yeah.
them laid out in cups. We've got each packet next to each cup, so we know this isn't a blind test.
But this is how DNA mistakes happen in labs. You know when someone gets accused of something, and it's always a DNA. That I could easily see us doing that. We accuse the wrong chip.
I'm slightly concerned that we're comparing apples with oranges here because
Yeah.
we've got a crinkle cut chip, we've got a thin, we've got two styles of kettle chip. I feel like it's not across the board with this is the best crinkle cut, this is the best thin. But
Okay.
it's
Okay,
I think this will still be helpful for some people if you're looking, if you're in a shop, these are all brands that you can buy easily and you think, which one should I get? We're here to help.
And yeah, let's be honest, we're not doing this podcast for ourselves, just to eat junk food on a Wednesday night or whatever. Away from families and loved ones. We're not doing it for them. No. Not doing it for us.
It's for the listeners. It's to
for
help.
you guys. That's what I've been telling my wife as I buy it. It's not for me. We're doing a podcast. All right. Okay, so let's try the kettle salt and vinegar chip first. I'll grab one too.
But this claims to be sea salt and cider vinegar. So,
upmarket.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Turn your microphone off.
Yeah, that's got a very sharp flavour.
Yeah, I think that's the cider vinegar. I can taste it.
Is that the cider
I don't
vinegar?
mind it, but are you feeling a prick of sweat already?
Yeah, I don't know if I
Yeah.
could go a whole packet of those.
Yeah, you do get the vinegar sweats with those pretty quickly. Usually I'd get through half a bag before I started getting the sweat. You've really broken out there
Yeah, I'm just.
with a you got a cider vinegar sweat on.
I'm allergic to vinegar. I finally found something I'm allergic. I think also that would be. I'm not a big beer drinker, but I reckon that would be a good beer chip to have.
Oh, okay.
With a
I'm not a
beer.
beer drinker either.
I do drink beer, but I don't drink it a lot. But
Yeah, maybe with a pilsner.
a pilsner.
I don't know what a pilsner is.
Or a
I just
stout.
wanted to say that it would
It's
go
like
well
a
with a
German
pilsner.
sort of beer, isn't it? A pilsner. All right. Well, let's move on to the next. Should we move on to the next
Well, let's try the next
The Red
kettle
Rock
chip.
Deli.
Because this claims to be salt and balsamic vinegar. So we'll see if there's a difference there in the vinegars.
I love balsamic vinegar.
Oh, that's this one.
Okay, we'll just
Okay, I'm going to turn the microphone off again.
Okay.
Oh, one crunch.
Yeah, yeah. You can taste the difference in the vinegar.
Yeah, you really can. It's a
Balsamic.
sweeter, not as sharp.
It is sweeter. It's a very, very good pick.
Yeah.
I automatically prefer that over the first one, over the kettle one.
Oh, I don't know. I quite like the adventure of the first one. It's kind of like it's dangerous to eat them.
Yeah. It's
And
like,
I'd probably have to slow down. Like I reckon I could eat those Red Rock Deli ones because this is Red Rock Deli sea salt and balsamic vinegar that we're eating now. I reckon I could get through a bag of those no problem. Whereas these, the kettle chips with the cider vinegar, I'd have to pause. That'd take me a while, and I'd probably need a couple of beverages.
Yes, yeah.
You'd really have to keep rehydrating.
Well, let's try the next one, which is thins. And I love a thin.
I love thins
I
too.
love thins. I love a plain thin is possibly my favourite chip, just the plain thin.
Really? You're like my mum.
Yeah.
She loves a plain thin.
Just a plain thin, love. I don't want any. I just want a plain thin. Because she probably just grew up with plain thins.
Yeah.
Probably just the plain chip.
Yeah.
You know, that generation.
My mum grew up in the time when you used to, this is what they always used to tell us, they would buy their packet of chips at the cinema, at the films, and it came with a little wax twist thing in it of salt, and you had to untwist that, tip your own salt on your chips, and then shake up the bag of chips.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I always quite liked that idea.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, they did. I think it was Samboy went through a stage where they had sold.
Oh, add your own salt.
Yeah, sachets of flavouring. No, flavouring, I think it was.
Flavouring, okay.
Power your flavouring, wow, your flavouring, something like that. I do love a thin, so let's try the thin. Grab a thin, Kitty, and look. They are very thin compared to the kettle.
They don't specify the vinegar, so I'm going to assume it's just your plain white vinegar.
We need a spittoon to spit our
Yeah,
we're like wine tasters.
I feel like we're a pair of amateurs here, and we've done this in completely wrong order because that's a disappearance chip after those other two. There's nothing there on it. I can't taste anything after those other two.
Yeah, and it also tastes very potato-y.
Yeah, we did them in the wrong order. We should have started there.
Yeah, it tastes quite subtle.
Oh, I should have hang on, I have a palate cleanser and try another one.
Palate cleanser, because for me, I can actually taste the potato and salt in that and not the vinegar.
It tastes more like a chip.
Oh, things, you'll let yourself down.
Hang on, have a palate cleanse and we'll try them again because I just feel like they're being punished by the stronger vinegars.
You think that's what's going on, do you? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. I've got Diet Coke as a palate cleanser. And what have you got?
Which is a good idea. I should have brought Coke because it really does strip your palate out.
Oh, yeah.
It strips everything. I'm drinking peppermint tea, which is a bit pathetic.
Okay, try another one. Give thins a second chance. Nah, sorry, thins. You let us down.
I'm just not getting a lot of vinegar.
Nah, you'd be my least favourite child if you you know what I mean? When you got up to play your clarinet, I'd leave the room at the concert. Yes. I don't know. I love a thin. That's it. I've never really bought those before, salt and vinegar thins, and now I think I know why.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm hoping that the Smiths,
Smiths,
the classic,
and
this is the one I always buy if I'm buying salt and vinegar chips. I always buy a Smiths.
Same here, I think, and because I love a crinkle cut chip.
Yeah.
Crinkle cut chip is very good. Well, let's try one. This is a classic chip. Oh, don't knock it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't disappoint.
Does not. No. Packs a punch.
Yeah. Even after all those others, there's something about the crinkle cut. I think it holds in more vinegar.
I don't know.
That's
the winner.
Yeah.
Would you agree that's the winner?
That's well, without Samboy here to compare it to, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give it to the Smith salt and vinegar crinkle cut.
If we find some Samboy in a later episode, we'll get them in here and we'll test them against those ones.
We just need to test it against, because now we've decided that the Smiths is the best. We just need to now test Samboy versus Smiths, I think.
And I tell you what, it's going to be a great moment at the Smiths factory when they hear this podcast, and they'll be high-fiving each other. Whereas over at the Red Rock Deli and the kettle one and the thins, they'll just be...
Well, thins have got to take a good hard look at themselves. Thin on flavour, I'd call that.
Thin ice. They're walking on thin ice. They've let everyone down. My God, have a look at yourself. Yes, you're listening to the Junkees podcast here. Now it's time to do a segment called Please Discuss, where we just bring up random things that we have a certain passion about.
Yep.
What do you want to raise?
And most of the time, I feel like we're pretty in sync. There've been a few times where you've shocked me, and I go, "Wow."
Dark chocolate's a big one where we disagree.
Yeah.
Because I know one day you're going to open up the Sunday Life magazine, and it'll be Dave O'Neill's Day on a Plate, which is my favourite. Have you ever done that? Where they ask celebrities what they eat, and everyone lies.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of every day, the celebrity, whether they're an actress or a fitness person, they say they have a couple of squares of dark chocolate.
Squares of dark chocolate.
Oh, does that make you angry?
And you know why you only need a couple of squares of dark chocolate? Because it's not nice.
Yeah, and you go, oh, yeah. Oh.
No one ever says, I just had a couple of squares of milk chocolate, because you need to have at least 4 rows of that stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I've had enough dark chocolate.
Oh, I'm already thinking we should do a milk chocolate taste test one day.
We should.
See if anything can beat the Cadbury family block.
Definitely. Because Whittaker's is pretty good.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, what do you want to discuss?
The Polywaffle.
Right.
Because there was a big to-do about them bringing it back. They're bringing back the Polywaffle. Where do you stand on the Polywaffle?
Not a fan.
Snap.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Don't like it. Think it tastes like a stale chocolate bar.
Yeah, the idea is good because I love a homemade wagon wheel, and I love the wagon wheel of I love the you know what I love? Marshmallow.
Yep.
I love biscuit.
Yep.
I love chocolate, and I love a bit of jam.
Yep. And so the Polywaffle, which has everything, all
Except
those things
jam.
except jam, but on paper, the Polywaffle should have been my favourite chocolate bar. Marshmallow, can't get enough of it. Love the stuff.
Love it.
Plus chocolate and biscuit. And the name, Polywaffle, it's like, and I just find that a mouthful of disappointment every time. It's like it's like eating an old chocolate bar that you found.
Yes.
It's stale. It tastes stale.
You get chocolate bar regret straight away. Like I should have got. Well, what's a good one? Picnic.
Ooh. Picnic
is one of the best.
Yeah, one of the best. And they
Peanuts.
didn't need to bring out a dark chocolate version of that.
No.
I'm really disappointed in that.
No.
And I'll tell you another one that's really good, and you never think of it. And I didn't eat them for years.
Not Rolo? No. Not Moro? Moros?
Nah, not really into that.
Not the Milky Bar?
I'm not even big on Mars either.
No, I'm not big on Mars either.
Too much.
Yeah.
Started to feel sick. It's
Yeah.
like, But the one that
Snickers?
is always better than you think, it's not bad.
Snickers isn't bad. I would never buy one.
No, I would never buy one. But I'll eat them if they come in those favourite packets.
Yeah, definitely.
The one that's always better than you think, the flake.
Oh,
God, that's a good chocolate
love a
bar.
flake because you know what? They're classy.
And I never used to buy them. I always thinking, why would you buy that? There's nothing in it. There's no nuts. It's just chocolate. And then one day I bought one and went, oh, this is the best ever. The only thing wrong with it, not enough of it.
Yeah, not
Very
enough.
small. They need to come in a double pack.
The flakes used to have very classy ads where they obviously were selling them the upmarket, trying to make.
Were they classy, or was it just a lady in a white dress on a horse that you liked, Dave? Yeah. The flake ad was very similar to the Alpine cigarettes ad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You never knew she's going to get off that horse and either have herself a menthol cigarette or a flake chocolate bar. You just weren't sure.
What's your thought on the Chiquito?
Oh,
Yeah.
I really like the Chiquito.
Yeah, it's like a picnic.
Little bit sweet.
Yeah.
It's like a picnic. It's like a foreign picnic. Like it's visiting from another country.
Yes.
You don't get them a lot.
No.
It's a little bit, I love
exotic.
a Chiquito. And I think it's got a Rice Krispie in it.
It has.
Yeah, it's a good one.
yeah.
God, I haven't had a Chiquito. I don't think they're still around.
They come and go.
Well, bring it back.
Bring
There
it
we
back,
go.
guys.
That's the segment we wanted to do. Bring it back.
Bring it
The
back.
Chiquito. Forget the Polywaffle. No one likes it.
Nah, forget it.
Bring back the Chiquito.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Dave O'Neill and Kitty Flanagan, called the Junkees.